Good evening, I'm Bryce McLeay, and welcome to Outside the House, the unofficial Big Brother after show. It has been an emotional week in the Big Brother house as allies have become enemies and enemies have become friends. But with another target out of the house, who will these all-stars align against next? We'll find out soon enough. But first, let's eavesdrop on the Outside the House team. First up is my co-host, Rachel Swindler.
Hey, guys. So
Rachel,
happy to be back.
You're back in your home studio.
Yes, thank God. Thank God we're not, by pools every single week, but we're all here now.
Yes, well, we definitely want to hear everything that you have to say. But first, let's say hello to our producer, Mark Herman.
Hello.
Hi, Mark.
I'm very provoked right now.
I'm sure. Provoked. Do you need a towel?
I do.
I'm sure that's the case. All right. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which most of you are on right now, and be sure to hit the notification bell, Mark, so you never miss your chance to take part in our live episodes and see your comments on the air. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you'd rather listen than watch, just open Spotify and or Apple Podcasts and search Outside the House. Then click the subscribe button and please rate and review us. Finally, follow us on socials at From Outside the House on Instagram and at Outside the BB House on Twitter. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest. He was Davon's first untouchable back in BB17. He's also the runner-up of Big Brother Over the Top. Please welcome Jason Roy.
Hey, what's up, kids?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Are you enjoying the season so far?
No, I'm not at all. Literally, the stress is so real every time Davon is on any TV show. Yeah. And especially it being Big Brother, and I was the historian kid. I know everything. I've seen every damn show and season. So a lot of these people, I walked in, I was like, I love them all. And now I'm like, I hate them all. It's all about Davon.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I don't blame you. All right, you guys, let's just get right into it. I do have a little preamble here, but so you guys can sit back and relax for a minute. I just want to get everyone up to speed. But so by a vote of 9-0, Bailey was evicted from the Big Brother house, very sadly. But I want to go through this whole roller coaster real quick. So, okay, Christmas nominated Bailey and Davon for eviction, which seemed like a sharp turn of events until you hear how obsessed Christmas is with her alliance. Then Bay and Day lose the veto. Afterwards, Tyler comes clean to them and takes responsibility for them being on the block and alludes to pitting all the girls against each other. Tyler then goes to Christmas, who apparently had a final two deal with him, which I completely forgot about. And he asks her to replace Bay or Day with him and send him home because he's done playing the game. Christmas isn't having it, and eventually production steps in and tells Tyler he cannot manipulate the game like that, as seen on the live feeds. Meanwhile, Davon tells Christmas that Bailey is still mad at Tyler for seasons past, which fuels Christmas's chestnuts that are roasting on an open fire to tell Tyler that Bailey has no real intentions of mending fences. Then once Tyler believes there's no salvaging a friendship with Bailey, he walks back on the whole put me up thing. And then Christmas keeps the nominations the same, leaving Davon and Bailey on the block, which is where we find ourselves tonight. So I want to ask you guys, first off, do you think this was the best move of the house to evict Bailey? Jason, what do you think?
Yes. Obviously, I think Davon does seem to have a little bit more of the people in power in her corner. Like she does have Danny. She's got some of these other people who I think all of them are not actually loyal to her, not even 5%. But at least by the way it's structured or how it looks, she might be believing that the committee people are a little bit more loyal to her. And for everybody else, Davon really has never won any Big Brother competition. So it is kind of like she is the least threatening of the two of that duo. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rachel, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in a competition sense, I think Davon is definitely not as strong as Bailey. And I think that, I don't know, I think that Davon has... Not that Bailey doesn't have her head on her shoulders, but I think Davon might play a little bit less emotional than Bailey. So, but I'm not sure because, I'm an emotional player. I'm the first person to admit that. So, in that aspect, I think Davon would be a good keep as well. But they were a little even in my opinion, but I definitely think Davon is the right choice.
Mark, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Davon having that fight with Christmas got that kind of out of the way, and now that's behind them. She already had her big blow up, as she was saying, and I think she's really going to play for it. But she's self-aware, and I think that's gonna play a pretty big factor in keeping her in there for a while.
Right. Why do you guys, Jason? Why do you think that Christmas put? Because here's my thing. I felt like, why did
you don't want my answer?
Well, no, but why do you think Christmas? Well, no, say it, because I mean, like, aside from like it just
that she's full of microaggressions.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
she's
such
full
a
of microaggressions. Argument. You can't put up two people that are minorities and say you're afraid that they're going to blow up on you when you have been charged with assault because you blew up and wanted to ram your car into some other girl's car. You cannot, like, pot meet kettle.
Rachel, what about you? How do you feel? Why do you think she put them up in the first place?
I think that she put them up for exactly why what she said in her goodbye message, that her first loyal and allegiance was to that committee alliance. And I think as much as she liked Bailey and she liked Davon, I think that in her eyes, and from what I've seen and what other people have said about Christmas, she's a ride or die for the people that she's working with. Ride or die. So she's going to do anything in her power to make sure that stays intact. And so now it's like, you know, if Bailey and Davon, I think the untouchable thing was a little bit of an excuse. I think that it was because she felt like they were coming after her alliance.
And listen, that's how I just felt like it was a very flimsy argument for Christmas to say Davon and Bailey. I mean, like I feel like I tweeted this, that like it just seemed like Christmas was playing Big Brother that no one was watching. Like she was like, she's aligned with everybody, everybody's her friend. Like, I mean, everybody had a final 2 deal with Tyler, but they just sort of like scraped over that, and it was like basically nothing.
Yeah.
I do take offense to saying ride or die in relation to anything with Christmas, just because of the car incident. Okay, I think we should avoid that.
That is true. That is true. Untouchable sounds a lot nicer. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, an untouchable.
Rachel, Julie mentioned that Bailey and Tyler conferred before the broadcast. She said that they had a chance to talk after all this blow up stuff. And Bailey said that they were going to squash their beef. Do you think that's true? You've played with both of them. You know, what is your opinion? I think that's up to also their significant others. You know, I mean, I think that the thing about Bailey and Tyler, and what I love about both of them, is that they really at their core have really great hearts, and like they're very, very sensitive people. Like Tyler's very sensitive and she's very sensitive. And I think I mean, I don't think there weren't really a lot of bad things said. I feel like about like each other's, there was nothing said about Swaggy. I think Bailey might've said a comment about Angela at one point. So I think it's going to be about putting the past aside and putting sometimes these angry moments in the house where we want to say something negative about somebody. I mean, I read plenty of negative stuff that people I'm still friends with now have said about me in the house. So it's about putting those negative things aside and going, you know what, that was maybe in the heat of the moment. Let's squash this. Let's not make this bigger than it needs to be. And I think that they both need to do that, like all of them collectively together, because it has been, I feel like, you know, a long year for them, or, you know, I just felt like there was a little, you know, there's just too much drama, and I try to keep as out of the drama as possible as much as I can. So I don't want to cause drama, but I do hope and I do believe that they can put it aside. Jason, do you think that people can, you know, after playing the game a couple of times, do you think people can mend fences like moving forward, or is it too hard?
I think you can in, you know, real life, personal life. But if you keep going back and playing this game, I feel like the fence, you're always in a different yard. You're going to be in a different fence next time. So you can paint the fence all you want, but when you put in a whole new 16 people, it's like, screw that. I got a whole new house. I got a whole new backyard. And it's not so much about, but also like it's kind of to that whole, like, what is personal and what is game. because all these people, like Rachel knows, Bryce, you know,
Yeah.
we've been to these parties. You meet tons of these people. I know, damn, I've met every single person on this cast like at least one time. So there is a little bit more of like, well, I thought we were really cool then, and so it is more complicated than just like, oh, we mended fences, it's over, we're moving on. Because you can move on in real life, but then if I have to compete with you for $500,000 again, bitch, I have not moved on.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, you're spitting the truth right there. It's just this little Big Brother community that we have is a very interesting world. Would you not agree, Jason?
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
So, you know, it can get weird and catty, and things can change at the drop of a dime. You can be friends with somebody, then you're not friends with somebody. I mean, it's kind of like high school. And so I mean, right, Jason?
It is. And I mean, it's kind of like, maybe it's like college when you're out. Maybe people just party and sleep with each other. But then you go and Big Brother in the house is not even high school. It's solid 6th grade. It's solid. It's solid middle school.
Rachel, well, you mentioned before that, you know, I think this is what I wanted to ask you. Like, you were talking about this, that something was going to come to a head with Bailey and Tyler, like the seasons past were going to creep up. Do you think this was it? Or, I mean, I guess yes is probably the answer, but like, did you feel like this was big enough or not big enough? Or
I think that this is just what Bailey was saying. She still was affected by the things that Tyler did to her in season 20. And, you know, I don't blame her, because I feel like if I were to go back in the house, as much, you know, I probably would be sketched out to work with Angela. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, so, or the certain people that voted me out, it would be very difficult for me to put stuff aside. You know, maybe at first I could say that, but once you get in that house and things start happening here and there, and then things start creeping back in your mind, you're like, but I remember when that person did this to me, and wow, could that happen again? Could that happen again? And I think what it seemed like, Tyler wanted Bailey out before jury because he thought that she tainted the jury in BB20. So, you know, it seemed like little things, like, because Tyler wasn't directly going after Bailey. He kind of just was dropping little hints here and there. And then, you know, and I can't remember what Bailey said in the episode tonight, where she was just like, I can't get season 20 out of my mind, or something like that. You know, so I mean, this is those ghosts from BB past that just creep up. So unfortunately,
that just sucks. It sucks that there's that already, because when you go into the Big Brother house, it's, you know, everyone's usually it's fresh. You know, you don't have these people that have played I mean, I guess in a few seasons past, but like you don't have this. And so there is no like animosity because no one knows each other. Now it's like this other layer, like you've mentioned, Jason, which is like this other layer of crap that you've all dealt with outside the house because everyone's close and they meet each other, and it's a very welcoming community, as we've talked about several times. But I get where, you know, there could be animosity as well. I want to know, Jason, do you guys and Rachel and Mark too, like, what do you guys think that Tyler's intentions going to Christmas, do you think he was genuine, or like going to Bailey and Davon first and then going to Christmas? Do you think that was all genuine?
I mean, what, him coming up with this whole like I'll go home thing because I love Angela so much and I'm just going to sacrifice everything. First off, for someone like Tyler, who I know really knows the show and has watched it for a while, and for anyone that's been in there for longer than a couple weeks, you know that you can read that rule book anytime you want, and very specifically, it is against the rules to like try to nominate yourself. Period. Okay. So the minute he even brought that up, I was like, production is going to stop this. But also, he should have known that wasn't going anywhere. So in my mind, I think it's all a little bit of like a ruse for him to still look like the nice guy to America. Tyler did not look the greatest when he got off of 20. So a lot of people are there for redemption. A lot of people are there to get money. A lot of people are there for a good second chance. I think Tyler is there to save his public persona. So the worst thing he could do on this season is look like a dickhead again. And I think by coming up with this whole I'll sacrifice myself for you girls thing is just a PR stunt.
Yeah.
Those cookbooks aren't going to sell themselves.
Well, it did feel a little Dan's funeral-y. I mean, I don't think I really thought that he was genuine. I think that I think that he could have
Yeah, can I just interject and say
yes.
He probably was, but I am a negative, evil person.
Yes.
And I literally hate everything, everyone, and will tear everything down. So he probably did mean well, but also why not just say that he didn't?
Right, right. True.
And thank you, Jason, for saying that. And that's why Jason's a great person to have on a podcast like this, because I'm over here trying to be Miss Rainbows and motherfucking sunshine. And Jason's
you really are.
Rah, rah. And I'm like, I think everybody's great. And I don't want to say anything bad.
They're all demons.
Okay. Rachel, what do you think?
I will put my 2 cents in. Do I think that Tyler did this, as Jason said, as a PR stunt, as he knew that he couldn't get this done? I absolutely do not believe that. I think that he was being genuine in his approach. I think what happened was that and we didn't see this conversation, when Christmas said, Bailey wants your head on a silver platter. I think that it got into, and maybe the DR as well, I think that conversation, when you think you're about to sacrifice yourself for somebody else's game, go, you know what? I know what I did to you last season or 2 seasons ago. I'm gonna right my wrongs. So I'm gonna sacrifice myself to go on the block. And then you hear that they want your head on a silver platter and that they're coming after you. Then you're like, oh wait, hold up a second. I'm about to sacrifice my game. No. And I think that maybe Tyler's fight kicked in there. And so that's what I believe. And that's from experience of living with him and just knowing Tyler at his core.
And that's a very good theory too. And Mark, what do you think though? Do you think it was genuine?
I think I mean, he knew in the back of his mind that it wasn't going to go anywhere. Obviously, he's a scholar of the game on, even above David's level of mastery.
Oh my God, no one could be better than David.
and I think, I think he put it out there because he was genuinely feeling it. He knew it would go nowhere, but I think he was genuine with his feelings, and hearing that silver platter comment just totally knocked the wind out of that. And
that was the nail in the coffin, if you will.
Yeah, made him second guess it.
I have to shout out. Sorry, I have to shout out one of our people in the chat right here. Frank saying, "Can Rachel get any more beautiful?" We love you, Frank.
Is that the answer? Can you answer the question?
The answer is no. I cannot get any more beautiful because I am already gorgeous. Okay, and then we do want to say one of my very loyal fans, Ranger Rick. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Okay, bye.
Yes. No, thank you for please keep commenting. We want to hear what you have to say too. Get in the conversation with us. I just was going to say that I do think it was genuine, but it's interesting how, regardless of regardless of his intentions, he actually further divided all of the women in the house. And as we saw, for me with Christmas, she reacted so poorly. I mean, there's no question about her reaction was terrible toward Bailey and Davon, but it was just interesting how they were all fighting and Tyler was sitting there playing pool, and he was even consoling Davon, and she was telling him stuff. Yep. And I know that's nothing against anybody, but it's just interesting that here he's the one that did this regardless of his intentions. He further divided everybody a little bit, and then he's the one that's consoling them. So I mean, I got to say, from a game standpoint, it looks pretty good. That looks really good.
Game. That's not game.
No. That wasn't game.
In my opinion, that's not game, because I just think that's how he is.
Agreed. And that wasn't game, but I'm just saying, from an optics standpoint, he's looking good.
Yes.
Whether it's meant to be game or not,
exactly.
It's going to positively affect people's opinion of you
100%
forward.
It's like Nicole taking
it kind
punishment.
of is a subconscious game move.
Yes.
It's kind of also good jury management. You got to be nice to the person going out, and clearly,
for sure,
Christmas is lucky as hell that jury didn't start this week, because her jury management would be out of damn control.
Yeah.
Mark, that's a really good point. It was like Nicole giving the 5K last night to Davon. It was Davon
gave her a damn $500,000.
I know,
so and put your cereal box on, hooker.
That's what I mean. It's it wasn't malicious. It wasn't game. It wasn't necessarily anything. She did that. I mean, I believe that she did that out of the kindness of her heart. And like you said, Jason, because she elected or voted for Nicole to win her season. And
Right.
I think that, but I also think
Nicole's
that
whole job is selling shampoo on Instagram now. So
Yeah.
again,
Not anymore.
If I want to have,
she's going to do everything she can. She is a walking PR stunt. So she is going to be, licking all the feet in there that she can to come out.
That's
and
a gross. That's a gross.
Lord Jesus.
What else?
the F
She's going
stands
to
for
have
feet.
so many toes in her mouth because she wants to look like a nice person so she can still hack FabFitFun boxes at us. Okay. So of course, Nicole, if she would have taken that 5K, oh my God, that girl would have been crucified on
Oh
that.
yeah, that would have been bad.
That's true. And I mean, either like and to her credit, she did allude to a little bit of like, I'm going to do this for Davon and to be in good standing. So at least it wasn't as like fake as it probably could have been, where she would have been like, well, I'm just going to do this out of the kindness of my heart, which she was. And it was a very nice gesture. You have to give credit where credit's due. But anyway, let's move on. Jason, do you think that Davon should have told Christmas that Bailey was still mad at Tyler?
I mean, honestly, I love Davon so much, but she is emotional and too trusting. So she will be like, yes, I've connected with this. I mean, the classic, I hate with the people that on these podcasts just go back to their season. But like me and Davon, half of our bond was that we could both see through Audrey's bull crap by day 4. So, but a lot of other people in that house, Davon still trusted. She was still talking to this one, still talking to that one, thinks she could work with Clay, thinks she could work with that person. And her reads were way off on that. We were so right on Audrey and so right on the twins and so wrong on so many
You were
people.
so right on the twins.
Yes. But I think,
crap. That was so good.
that she is thinking that some of these people who, because we have all met each other, or they are, Tyler is caring when this is going on, she believes that some of these people might actually like have her back this time, and she can have more game conversations than just with one person, like with me, or just with one person, like with Bailey. But unfortunately, the way this game always seems to go for her is that everyone will be willing to screw her over except me and Bailey, apparently.
Yeah.
So I think that she is always on a tightrope of she shouldn't have said that to this person. She shouldn't have said more stuff than she should have said. But I don't think any of that's proper English. But it is what it is. That's why we love Davon. That's why Davon is back. There is a million people they could have called, and they called her because we know what we're gonna get with her, and we love it.
Yes. I would have been better.
Rachel's like, I'm here. Don't worry, Rachel. Me, you, and Kat Dunn. BB27. I'll see you there, baby.
Yes, man.
Final 3 for BB27.
Whoa, no pre-gaming, Derek. Calm down.
Wait, I do want to know why you think that about Davon, Jason? Because I mean, if she is too trusting, is it for people like? Is she trusting the wrong people, or is she just like, what are people?
I mean, she is, but I also think we can kind of chop it up to, she just did those 2 seasons of the challenge, and one of them filmed for 6 months. And that challenge show is completely different. It is based really on friendship and things like that. I mean, Big Brother is as well. You can look at how these alliances form. I mean, at least in every season whoever hangs out with me late at night and wants to talk crap and smoke cigarettes, that's my alliance.
We would be an alliance.
So they literally are formed by little groups of friendships. And then you can do that. Oh, I'm secret with this person over here. I'm secret with that person over there. But it all is the same thing. It's just like high school, middle school. Relationships are formed in that sense. So going on the challenge and learning how to play the challenge, and then you come back to Big Brother, I think she thinks, oh yeah, if these people are my friends, then we're going to ride. And no, baby, this is Big Brother now. They're all liars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Davon is someone that I would gravitate toward easily. Like she seems very trusting. She seems like, I mean, I wish she could win some more, but I mean, I think she's very trusting. She doesn't seem, I don't know why there's a lack of not working with her is just my
people are always afraid of her. She is a gravitating person. You gravitate towards her at first. Everyone called her Mama Day for 2 weeks. And then it takes one little thing, and then all of a sudden they scatter like cockroaches, as Gina Marie would say. And everyone is afraid of you. And again, I don't want to chop it up to like the microaggressions thing, but she is a strong Black woman that is not afraid to call you out. And that scares people that are afraid of confrontation. Like Nicole Franzel, who is very anti-confrontational. I see that Tyler is very anti-confrontational. A lot of these people are anti-confrontation. So if they know that she's going to snatch their wig, they are running away.
Yeah, that's
Rachel.
very true.
What were you going to say though? You were going to. How do you feel about Davon?
Oh, okay. So I've heard like on the live feeds, Jason. I mean, and you are aligned with her. I've heard on the live feeds people say she doesn't give a lot of information. She just listens a lot of the time, and that's what scares people.
Well, I think that is what she learned after 17, because we gave out all the information. So then she came in on 18 and said, okay, I'm just going to sit here and suck up information. But then she really had no one that was her dynamic duo in that season. It didn't work out to not say anything. So I think what she's kind of trying to do this time is a little bit of both. She's trying to tell some people some things and get them in their pocket, but also Big Brother is more of a game about listening, because you will hear the things that you are trying to figure out in other people's subconscious statements. But people like me who just talk and talk and talk never friggin' hear them.
Do you think this is all just like a ploy to, like, Rachel, do you think this is just all a ploy to get everyone out that was associated with Janelle? Not to have jealousy, but I mean, seriously, it seems like everyone who is aligned with her is being targeted. What do you think?
Yeah, it seems like if you have any ties to Janelle, then you are next on the hit list. I mean, as we can see from the majority of the commission, is it committee or commission? The committee?
Why not both?
Well, I think there's both. Is there?
I think there's the committee, and then there's the commission, which is
like commission's what you get when you sell shoes at Sears.
Oh, okay. So
or
the
shampoo on
committee,
Instagram.
The committee alliance. I saw a tweet that went out, and it was like who each person was looking to target, and from that alliance, Tyler is the only person who has said that his targets are Danny and Nicole. Everybody else, their targets are like Kevin and David and Ian. So like, it's just, it's not good if they win.
Yeah.
I forgot the original question.
Well, I was just asking, you thought it was just about Janelle. Like if everyone was...
Yeah. I mean, it's still there. It's just,
there nothing more to say about it. There is a hierarchy
exactly.
to Big Brother, and to people that think they're too good and better than everybody else. And a lot of people see Janelle as the one and only queen and princess. And people like Franzel would like to be that person. So I think they will do anything they can to try to erase her memory and therefore become her. But sis, you could never, not on Easter Sunday in your best dress.
And there we have the Jason Roy. Oh my God, I love you.
Well, so I want to go back to Christmas and this whole debacle that I just feel like she can. Oh, nice. Rachel's holding your BB mug.
If Rachel can make it through BB20, you can make it through anything. Wait,
yes.
My favorite mug.
Rachel, do you think that so Bailey told Christmas that she thought that she used her? This was all again news to me. What do you think about this? Not to say that this didn't happen, but I mean, how would you have handled the situation if you were Christmas going into this?
Oh, okay. So again, like I said, Christmas has made it very known that she is a ride or die for her.
God, no kidding.
Her alliance.
Boring.
I don't know.
I
mean, here's the thing. I don't think this was her best move that she could have done, because I think that she could have just put up like Kevin or David, to be honest with you, and could call it a week. People would have said it's a boring week, but she would have got no blood on her hands, really. She probably could have mended fences with whoever it was, because they probably wouldn't have won anything. So she could have gotten out of this week without this big blow up, without all these accusations on Twitter, without all of this stuff blowing up in her face. I think this was not the best move, but it wasn't a horrible move, because eventually I do believe something could have blown up there. But Christmas didn't need to win that HOH, and that's what I keep going back to. She didn't need to win that HOH. I don't think it was a horrible move, but I don't think it was her best move. But there wasn't a lot of people to choose from because she
sold her soul to the damn committee, or
she sold to the committee, and they wanted. I mean, Enzo went up there and he said Ian, Bailey, Davon, and did he say Nicole too? I can't remember. He said like 4 names.
He said Nicole scared him, but I don't know if he told that to Christmas.
I think it was the Muppet hair thing.
Yeah, it was mainly, but he said 4 names, and it was like Nicole, Ian, Davon, and that. And she's not going to piss off Nicole, and she's not going to go after Ian because of the Nicole thing. And Ian, she saved Ian that one week with the safety suite. So like literally, the only people I feel like she had to choose from was Davon, Bailey, Nicole, Kevin, and David. And I think it should have been David and Kevin, in my opinion.
Well, it would have been an easier week, like you said. Jason, now going back to what Rachel was saying, but what do you think? So committee aside, this whole thing, because I know she's obsessed with her alliance.
I was obsessed with Level 6.
You were obsessed with your alliance.
See, maybe this is also like, I feel like 16 is where the whole team mentality thing really started. And granted, like 17, it continued on. Like me and Rachel have only played in this world where it's like that. But, these people like Janelle and Kesar and even Danny Donato, like it was not like that back in the day. And that's what I was hoping we're going to get. But instead, we're just going to get Christmas, who's going to ride to the end with people like Paul and then still do nothing and win no money.
So say she was playing like a Janelle and Kesar, like an older school player. What do you think she should have done in this week?
First off, I don't know why. I get it. All the men always work together on these shows, and I get it. The girls never friggin' can. But have we noticed? It's jury, and we have 4 girls out. Aren't these girls starting to go, okay, we are really down in our damn numbers. So if anything, the smarter thing would be to do is aim at some of these dudes. You put Memphis up. I mean, his Botox has finally settled, so he can go. Because he's finally looking like he can have an expression on his face again. So I don't need to see it. You put up fucking Memphis and you put him up against a strong powerhouse person. Like, I mean, everyone's got their own who you think is smart.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know who Christmas would target out of dudes, but I'm thinking the smart thing would have been to do is you got to start going after some of these men, period.
Yeah.
Definitely Kevin and David would have been great. And she could have used that to show for the girls to be like, look, I'm on your side. I'm not going to vote one of you out.
Exactly.
It really jingles my bells that she did not do that.
But like David is sitting there as a GOAT. Anyone can use him when they need him, basically. He's going to get dragged around and be a floater and this or that. He's almost playing
He's a sitting duck.
He's a sitting duck, but therefore, that's a big liability if he's never going to be a duck on your pond. If everybody else can use him against you, then that is not a good person you want around.
Yeah. No, I agree. Speaking of David, he just went down in the competition.
And so did Davon. I didn't know Davon had gotten out too.
She did. Dang it.
You know what? But it's iconic. You know, Danny Donato won this HOH, this exact challenge in season 13 in an epic episode. This is Danny Donato's HOH to lose. If she doesn't win, I'll be surprised.
Well, and Rachel, you were saying before we started this, you said that you found out something that a lot of the people that are still in the competition have either won or gotten very close to winning a wall comp, right?
Yeah. Oh God, after 30 minutes, only Davon was the first eliminated, I think.
Oh, you know what?
And
not surprised, but also maybe not a bad strategy.
And then David. So now it's Davon and David. They're the only ones eliminated right now. But the people that have come close. So Tyler almost won our HOH wall comp, and he gave it to Sam. He threw it to Sam because he was manipulating Sam and he already knew where Sam was going to go. I remember that week very vividly because I actually knew what was going on. So I know that he threw that because he knew what Sam was going to do already. And he wasn't going to come after level 6. So Tyler's a good one. Nicole Franzel won it. And then I had said Davon threw it to James, her season, but then now she's out. And then Cody apparently won.
Or
So
got close, yeah.
got close. So we're looking at
And then Danny won, as Jason just
Danny
said.
has one. Yeah, and then Danny.
Kind of looks like she's having a hard time. I don't know if I can show this on the stream without getting drop kicked by CBS.
You
But
might
Who's having a
get
hard
dropped.
time?
Danny.
Okay, well,
She looks like she's struggling.
This isn't 2010 anymore. A lot has changed. You know, when she was, you know, at her youngest, fittest to hang on some damn wall was a long time ago.
I think that this is going to be, they're going to hold on. Like the Ians and the people that have been pushed around, they're going to hold on in this competition. And if they don't, they freaking need to, because I would be at that point, I'd be like, listen, what's going on here? I didn't come here to play this game. We came here to play All Stars. I'd be grabbing my Alliance member, Mr. Jason Roy over here, and we would be like, we'd be like, let's go. Time to do this.
You know what, Ian
just fell.
Oh, here I am.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, usually
Enzo keeps rubbing his ass on the wall for some reason.
But, usually this does go to people that are also shorter. You know, this is one that a lot of these comps are on, like, well, yeah, there goes our one short person. So you can throw that argument out the window. But so damn. So who do we even have left? Oh, well, I don't want
Kevin. Well, I mean,
Kevin.
Kevin. Cody, Nicole, Enzo, Danny, Kevin.
Don't get
Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we'll be okay with a Tyler HOH. So that's why I'm like, if we can get a Tyler, but I don't know if Tyler's going to want to win it. I don't know if he's going to win
for a second time. And Rachel, you just were saying how, like, the people that you were holding on now, Ian's dropped, but who else needs to be focused on this competition?
Kevin needs to be focused, because we need him, because if
what would Kevin do though if he wins?
Kevin,
chaotic neutral.
Whatever everyone else tells him to, because I don't know what happened to the sack he had in 11, but he doesn't have it anymore. Seriously, I rode for him so hard. I said, Kevin is the best game. We have to put him on, and then he's coming there and he's just whined the whole time. Kevin, you lost me.
Memphis is down.
No, it's AARP. AARP just fell.
I love how she called him grandpa too. That was amazing.
Sorry, I got to shout out Mel Brown, who was on Twitter, and I think he is kind of funny.
He is really
very funny. But he put Ian and AARP just dropped.
So Jason, we kind of saw I think it was last night, we saw Davon sort of forge something with Danny and Nicole. Where do you think, if that's not the right thing, well, tell me what you think about that first, but then where should she go? Where should she align herself now that Bailey is gone?
I don't think she has any options. I think she's playing from the bottom with all of these people. But that the one benefit is, if she does get, I feel like, as much as Danny Donato is going to slit her throat, and I've said this since premiere episode, I said it's going to come down to Danny versus Davon at some point. At some point, we're not going to be able to avoid it. That's where we're going. But I think for now, Danny knows she's going to keep Davon in. So once this committee and all these things break up, Davon will not be at the bottom. She will be used by whatever side, kind of like I said, where David could end up, or what could happen to Kevin. So it's not the worst place to now be without your dynamic duo. I mean, once me and Davon got separated, people actually did leave me alone for a few weeks until they were like, okay, he can go as well. But, she won't be at the forefront of everyone's mind this week. So making some alliance with Nicole and Danny, I mean, that's her only option. Everyone knows that she actually hates Nicole, because the whole world hates Nicole. But I think that she actually likes Danny, but to work with Danny, you have to work with Nicole.
Well, and do you think that Danny, the one thing I will say, it seems like Nicole would not, or at least not planning on backstabbing her, whereas Danny maybe would. Or what do you think about that?
Nicole's plans on backstabbing everyone. Didn't y'all see the damn Amazing Race? Haven't you watched her on this show however many times? The last time this girl was a respectable, nice person was 2014.
So you think that this is her only who would you, like, if you could talk to her right now, who would you tell her to align with? Like, what is her best that's her best option, do you think? Or is
I mean, it's so convoluted just because every person that I think looks like, oh, she got a good relationship with Enzo. Enzo got better relations. Everyone's got better relationships with other people. So no matter where she goes, she's still always going to be like their plus one that they don't care about, which is unfortunate. But like, I don't see anyone until some of these other groups start breaking up. No one is going to step out for her.
Yeah.
No, you're very right.
Rachel, what do you think what is the benefit of having more girls? Like Jason was saying before, like with all the girls in the house, now there's 4 girls that have left. By the way, the same 4 that came into the house together all left. I saw a picture of that. That was insane. Someone, I think Earth Dog, whatever, BB22 put that up.
Yes, good old Earth Dog.
But Rachel, what is the benefit? Like why should they keep the girls? Why should the girls want to keep the other girls in the house?
Because come on, do we have gender loyalty? I don't know. I mean, I'm loyal to my girls and my gays. I'm gonna say it, but so that would be where my loyalty, I guess would lie. I mean, when I went to the BB20 house, I said I want a woman to win this show, and I will align with a strong female to get to the end, and that's what I attempted to do.
You picked Angela?
I did.
What's wrong with Rachel?
Sorry, I had to.
Okay, I adore Angela, but the reason why I picked Angela, the reason why I picked Angela was because I knew she wasn't as personable and outgoing as I was. Because she had explained to me how she didn't go out a lot, and she kind of like kept to herself and didn't like have a lot of friends over and this and that. And I'm very, very, very outgoing and very like all around to every group. Like I was voted homecoming queen in high school because I literally was in every single group in high school. So like I said, I think I'm going to get her on the social aspect of this game. So that's why I aligned myself with her, because you need a final 2 that you can beat. Smart. Right?
Well, and I don't think you picking Angela was,
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
What does that mean?
The girls need to keep the girls because we got to take over. Who run the world? Girls.
I also don't think, just to your credit, Rachel, I don't think picking Angela was a bad idea at all, only because she was clearly athletic enough to win comps. She did win comps. You know, you guys could have, I mean, if there was a way for you guys to have stayed together, you could have actually probably done really well if you were if you were doing social, and you could win too. It wasn't like you were chopped liver. Yeah. I mean, you know, like I don't think that was a bad strategy at all. Yeah. I just wonder. I do feel like there's more. I just don't get it goes back to like Christmas. I don't understand why she put up Davon and Bailey and kind of created this rift. It just seemed like a very flimsy argument to me.
It's because she never wants to sell another book again. And don't worry, she won't.
Were you surprised that it was unanimous, that the vote was unanimous, Jason?
No, I mean, there was obviously people that wanted Bailey to stay over Davon, but they were not going to get the vote. And we are living in modern day boring Big Brother where everyone just follows the house. There's no point. I mean, even in my season, like I voted Meg out, who was my number 2 after Davon. Like you don't have to follow the crowd. You might not look, oh great. Oh, they did that. Yeah. You will look better having some sense of loyalty and actually doing what you want to do. So everyone that wanted to vote Davon out, they should have, but they're all cockroaches and they all follow. So once the 5 was decided that we're voting Bailey out, the rest of them just had to get in the queue.
Yeah, no, I mean, I listen, I think you're right. And I just think the problem for me with, and maybe it is a whole modern old versus new Big Brother type thing that we've been talking about all season on our show. It's just that Christmas is playing like, in my opinion, like the worst type of game, only because she is exactly like, I'm only loyal to my alliance. She's not playing her own game. She's not even looking out for, yes, she is in the sense like, okay, let me give her benefit of the doubt here. I can give her credit for being loyal to her alliance, but like, she's at the bottom of this. She, like you said, Jason, she's not the one she's not the Franzel. She's
Decision
not the
maker,
Danny.
right.
She's not the Tyler, the Cody. She's not these people. So why is she so loyal and so brainwashed to
That's
them?
all
It's
she
just insane
knows.
to me.
That's all she knows. Look at her season. She rode with all these people that they,
Yeah.
again, she was not their highest priority. She was the girl, the crippled girl that was going to stay loyal. That's the benefit of having Christmas in your alliance, is she will stay loyal and do what you want. But that shows that she has basically no game unless someone smarter than her tells her what her game should be.
Yeah, right.
Enzo's down, by the way, just to give an update.
Hey, Mark,
Who?
what do you?
Enzo.
Oh,
That would have
okay.
been pretty good too, I guess. But
I thought
Mark,
you said Kevin. I was like, we don't need no.
Mark, what do you think of Christmas as a player?
No comment. No, I really enjoyed the character development we got out of her this season, especially that camera shot of her with Davon walking in the background. She's just like that.
I hated
Shout out
that.
to Big Brother Reddit for pointing out that that's the standard Stanley Kubrick crazy person like angle in a movie. Like when you see the face tilted like that.
That was very terrifying.
Very
terrifying.
The Shining.
I hid the car keys.
You know, funny. Not this is a really funny or interesting story, but I don't know why I said funny story.
Rachel, we know it is.
It's a story.
No, because like randomly before the season started, I saw Christmas started following me on Instagram, and I was like, "Wait, were we already following each other?" But like, I don't know what happened. And then she followed me, and then she liked a lot of my pictures like in a row. And so I thought to myself, I was like, why is she doing this randomly? And then I saw she was rumored to be on the cast, and I was like, oh, okay.
But why would
PR,
that
baby.
But why would that make
you're the one out here doing podcasts.
Well, who knows?
They
She
trying
could
to keep you on your side.
She could have thought.
I unfollowed that bitch a week ago.
That's a good point. Okay, go ahead, Rachel.
She could have thought I was going in the house with her. I don't know. Or she could have thought that maybe it was PR. I don't know.
Well, I saw on Twitter too.
Side note though, Rachel, did you have a lot of random people reach out to you? Because I had people that I haven't talked to since finale parties 3 years ago all of a sudden say, "Hey, Jason, how are you?" Like, no, they didn't call me, and they didn't call you either. Stop trying to get the tea, or stop trying to make these pre-damn alliances.
I'm going to be honest with you. Nobody really called me because no one expected me to be on the show, unfortunately. But it's okay because I'm fine. I was really great on my season, and I don't care what anyone has to say.
It's okay. Just the gutter rats called me, so.
Hey, but wait. So I did see on Twitter today that someone asked Jessica and Cody if they were friends with Christmas, and Jessica wrote back and was like, "No, I'm not friends." She started following us, just literally what you said, Rachel. She started following them like a week before, or a couple weeks before she went in the house, and then she said they both blocked her. And
good.
But isn't that I wonder what in that, like, how is that a strategy? Was she literally just trying to figure out who was in the house, I guess, maybe?
Or maybe who's got influence? Everyone loves Jessica and Cody. She out here selling everything too.
She's got to be good with the alumni. They all know the alumni is going to be speaking on the show, and so if someone's not following you on Instagram, you're like, I don't know, maybe it's just our day and age. Somebody's not following me. I'm like, who? Why you don't follow me?
Why you don't follow me?
So, why don't you follow me?
I get why they don't follow me.
And none of them follow me. So
I follow you.
Yeah. Come on, this show follows you, Mark.
And my 12th cousin, thrice removed, Caitlin Herman.
Yeah, that's right. Jason, we ask everybody this, so it comes on our show. Who do you think is going to win this season? I think we know the answer, but
I mean, I want Davon to win, but honestly, I don't see that happening at this point. I honestly think that Ian might win again. It's going to come down to probably Ian and Danny Donato at the end for some odd reason, and we probably have Ian win again.
Do you think that Ian would win over Danny?
It depends on how things go, but yeah, Ian does not piss anyone off. Ian really, he does his strategy thing. He'll make his moves. He pisses who up?
God.
Christmas off?
Memphis.
Yeah.
You
got one, Rachel.
I think that Danny Donato is going to have to slit some more throats to make it to the end. So if she is at the end, she's going to have, the Nicole Franzel perception of, okay, you may have got here, but you didn't do it by planting everybody's flowers. So it all depends on whether the jury is bitter or not. Because we have seasons where they're not bitter and we just vote for the person that played the best. And then we have seasons where we're like, you know what, that person is garbage and I will die before I hand them money.
What do you foresee happening with the jury now that we're in jury? What do you see for happening? Do you think they're going to be bitter or not? What would you get?
I'm hoping they're not going to be bitter, but I think that a lot of these people have almost barely ever seen jury. There's a lot of people that have been in third place. There's a lot of people that have been in first or second, or, a lot of these people have never even been to that house. So it's really easy to say like how they're going to react in jury when they don't even know the first thing about jury. Nicole doesn't even remember going to jury the 6 years ago she did it,
Yeah. Yeah. Rachel, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen in jury? Do you think they're going to be bitter or?
Well, I mean, the majority of the committee will probably be in jury. I feel like I don't know. This is the All-Star season. Maybe they won't be. Maybe they'll be like, I don't know. Come on. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I was just wondering because to think about like these people have played this game before, but like Jason said, they don't really remember jury. So
I think it's just how you feel in that moment when you're out there and you go and you hear the final speeches. I mean, kind of what you're going to do beforehand. I feel like I never made it to jury, so I don't know, but this is how I think I would have played it. I think that it's true that that the jury can be tainted and that you can feel, a certain way about somebody by somebody else. But I'm probably going to vote for somebody in my alliance that was in my alliance, and I don't know. I'm gonna vote for someone in my alliance. So that's how I would feel. And then I would gauge it off of their speeches. That's how I feel like I would have done.
Mark, what do you think the jury's going to do?
Well, first of all, I have to be the bearer of bad news.
Oh, no.
Oh, frick.
Oh, my God. So who's left? Tyler?
I mean, are we actually
we have Tyler,
Danny.
Nicole, and Danny, and Cody looks strong. He's not even holding on. He's just standing there.
Okay, so basically our only chance is Tyler. And
yeah.
you could tell, I'm not in his corner in any sense whatsoever. But
Tyler's the only one that will do something, and
we'll do something different. And at least if Danny wins, I don't think Danny's going after Davon because again, I don't care about any of these people. This is about my best friend getting a check. So it's all about Davon. I don't care. They can all murder each other as long as she's still there. So anyone can win as long as they ain't checking on my girl.
How do you feel like Davon is playing overall, Jason?
I mean, Davon is being Davon. Just like Rachel said, she admits she's an emotional player. I'm an emotional player. I'm an emotional shit talker. Like everyone that is there has their own little thing, just like there's the people that avoid confrontation. Davon is being Davon and playing the best that she can as Davon. She's never going to be Dan Giesling. None of us are ever going to be Dan Giesling. So it just is what it is.
Well, yeah, and that's true. Very true. Rachel, did you see another compliment?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I had to put that up there. Rachel, you a dime.
Oh, good. I thought I was trying. My mouse was over it. I didn't click it.
No, but I do have to say right now, what I feel about Tyler is that he will drop if Danny drops. If Danny drops, he'll drop.
I don't think Tyler's gonna.
I think
Cody's not going to take this HOH, but if Danny is the last one left, he sure as hell will be hanging on. 100%. But I think
Cody's going to get this.
They might give it to Cody.
They probably will. Everything going on with Cody. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think any of them are. I think whoever wants it, they're going to give it to. I don't think it's one of those situations where they're. I mean, maybe with Tyler and Danny, but I mean, if it's Cody, Danny, and Nicole, I mean, they'll just give it to whoever wants it. Seriously.
Right. And then Taryn Armstrong just tweeted out, Nicole says she's almost lost on that last tilt. She almost lost it. Danny looked like she was struggling. Tyler says his forearms are killing him. And Cody seems like he's been close to losing his grip here and there. So that's where we're at with all of them.
I hope the whole wall falls and crushes them all to death.
Okay, so leading into that, I want to end our whatever this is, Zoom. No, it's with final thoughts. Jason, how are you feeling after tonight's episode, and what do you hope happens this week? I know it sounds like we sort of know where the HOH is going. Who do you hope goes home?
I'm just glad this week is over. I have been an emotionally crazed mess. I got wasted and bought a megaphone on Amazon. Like, I literally have gone through every emotion under the sun. So I am glad that this week is over, and let's just keep it moving and hope that it's onwards and upwards and some positive crap for once for my girl Davon. And I don't know what your second part of the question was.
That was it. That was pretty much it. That was your final thought. Rachel, final thoughts?
Final thoughts are, this week has been very emotionally draining. I felt for Bailey. I felt for Tyler. I felt for Davon. I felt for everybody, but specifically those three people.
Except Christmas.
Yeah. Specifically those three people I felt for this entire week. You could see how much it was tearing all of them apart. But my final thoughts are, let's hope for a Tyler HOH. If we do not get a Tyler HOH, I think we're getting a Cody HOH. And I think we're going to see Kevin and David on the block.
Okay.
Or Mark. Ian backdoor.
Oh. Mark, final thoughts?
I got nothing. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Like I said at the top of the show, I'm provoked. And
you are provoked.
And
yes,
Ian did get his towel. So I have that going. But I just want... I want him to win. I hope he doesn't get backdoored. Like Ian's my ride or die. So
yeah, I don't want Ian to go.
I know. I don't think. Well, my final thoughts are just. I was very happy to see that everyone was that the whole thing with Davon, Bailey, Christmas, all that was shot and shown in a way that it was portrayed like on the live feeds. I feel like there was not as much manipulation. I feel like it was edited very well. I was just very happy that they did it that way, because I think that that's what Davon and Bailey deserve. And I was sad to see them go, but I'm hoping that maybe this, it doesn't sound like it, but maybe we'll see just, we'll probably have an easy week again, but maybe something will shake up this game. Maybe somebody will use a power. I don't know. There's like stuff all over my face too. So anyway, all right. Well, that's our show. Once again, if you don't want to miss a moment, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we're on right now, and also hit that notification bell so you can know when we take part in our live episodes. Subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts by searching Outside the House in the search bar, and make sure to follow the show on Instagram @From Outside the House and on Twitter @Outside BB House. And our personal socials are plastered all over those accounts too. We will see you next Thursday. Thank you so much, Jason, for coming. You can follow Jason @The Only J Roy. That was so great. Thank you so much for giving us insight on Davon. Especially, but all of your knowledge, you're so knowledgeable, and we really appreciate you coming on. Also, everybody please go check out Rachel's other Big Brother recap show. What is it called, Rachel?
Armchair All-Stars.
Yes.
And it's on the TV Co app every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, so everybody, please go subscribe and listen to that. So thanks, guys, for being here. I'll see you all next Thursday from Outside the Big Brother house. This has been Outside the House. And remember, let kindness rule. Let kindness be the rule for everything you say. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.